Never ever would I have expected that my life would completely change based on a conversation where I held my hand up like a mitten. At the time we set the stage for you, I was a brand new graduate student in the grand state of Illinois. In Illinois, and Champaign and Urbana, to be exact. And I was going to my first research conference at Georgetown University. I've never been to Georgetown. So posh. Wow. Okay, I can't afford anything there, but it was amazing. I was a Midwestern kid at heart, and I was there at a conference at Georgetown, and I was so set on meeting some of these like rock star scholars that I had just long admired, right? One of them, her name was Cynthia, and I just really loved her research, and I just know from Googling her that she was from the state of Michigan, and I was from the state of Michigan. And when I was like a nervous new graduate student, and all I wanted to do was figure out how to find my knack with networking, that's all I had, right? I was like, we're both from the same state, right? I'm gonna go talk to her. She teaches at Syracuse University, she's here. So I remember going to the panel where she gave her talk, and I sort of just like observed from a distance. I was like in awe, you know, as we say, like fangirling. And so you do it a lot if you just know your academic rock stars. So, you know, she finished her talk, it was great. As great as an academic talk can be, right? And super dry. So finished the talk, and there was a tea hour, right, as they do at these conferences. And you go up and your coffee and tea, and this was my moment, right? I could go up to her, I could introduce myself, and I was to like just start talking and making a beautiful connection. So I remember going up to her, and she was talking to two other people at the time. And I remember, the rest is a total blur, but I do remember holding up my hand, because when you're from Michigan, hold up your hand. Where are you at? Where are you at? Okay, yes, exactly. Just not the spot thing, right? So you hold up your hand and you show where you're from. And we did that. That's the special, unique thing we have from being from that state. So we talked about where we're from. The rest, again, is a blur. But, you know, it was a great moment, and I felt like that was my big achievement at that conference, one of several. So flash forward a couple of years. That was 2008. Move on to 2013. I was then like, you know, moving along with my graduate student career, and I was planning a panel for a big conference. So I was like, you know what, this is a great chance to invite Cynthia. It's like I want to keep maintaining that relationship. We're getting to know each other better. I see her every year, couple years. I would love to invite her because it's just a great way to compliment someone that they fit this topic. Invited her, she said yes, which was so exciting. And, you know, it was a great little panel that we did at this conference. Now, flash forward a couple more years, okay? I believe it was about 2 more years later. I got a phone call on a day in July. Now, I was writing my dissertation. Womp womp. It was very depressing, okay? It was just not very fun. It was a tough topic, it was a tough time. And I got a phone call from Cynthia, of all people. And that day she said, you know, she described the circumstances, I won't bore you with those, but she said, you know, we're gonna have this open position at Syracuse. Do you want it? And I said, yes, right? She's like my academic hero. I was so flattered. And she said, you know, when it came up in a couple of meetings, you were the first person I thought of. Aww. It was a very special moment. And, but flash forward a couple years later, so I got to work in her department, which was amazing. She's an amazing mentor to me. But this is now 10 years later. We're traveling through time. This is in 2024. I was at a random mini gay resort in West Virginia, the mountains of West Virginia. Just believe me, it exists, okay? It exists. It's called Lost River, okay? I'm at this gay resort, and I'm there with my boyfriend, and we're, it's New Year's Eve, right? Got these fabulous hats on and everything, and so at this gay resort, getting our first drinks, and who's there but Cynthia Gordon? And I just thought to myself, what in the world are you doing here, girl? And she was like, my fiance and here, we come here on the weekends because she, long story. So anyway, it was just amazing because what I'll always remember is that I was able to finally, my boyfriend had a terrible memory, and I was like, remember that woman I would tell you about? You didn't remember. And I was like, okay, well that woman I told you that changed my life, this is her right here. And so in that moment, I just felt like the luckiest person in the world to be able to have her there to tell her that. Thank you.